When I was younger, I had a professor that used to say, do what you love and money will come. I used to never really think much of that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you choose a job where you're not going to make any money? When I found Boudoir, I really understood the meaning of that, that when you do what you love, you pour yourself into it, you get better at it, and people start to desire your work.
You're about to learn what it takes to live free of fear, to finally feel confident in your work, and to step into your true authenticity as an artist. Get ready, because this is where we learn to stand out, to say yes to creating the work that we so deeply desire. Welcome. I'm Denise Birdsong, and I teach photographers and artists how to finally make their mark.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Make Your Mark. I am so excited that you're here with us, and I'm very excited because I have a guest with us today who is pretty awesome. You guys might already know her, but if you don't, I'm really excited to bring her on so that you can all meet her and learn a little bit more about Jenn. So without further ado, everyone, this is Miss Jenn Bruno-Smith. And she is an amazing boudoir photographer as well as an amazing businesswoman. So Jen, I kind of want to kick this off by, first of all, I want to thank you for everything that you do for our industry. I think as creatives, we really love creating. Most of us really love like the artistic side of our industry. That's why we get into it, right? And a lot of us don't have the business background or the acumen needed to really run successful, entrepreneurial businesses.
Right.
I think you've come in and saved the day for, I can't even count how many of my students. I know so many of them talk about you. So I just want to personally extend a great big thank you to you for all that you do for the community. So thank you so much for doing that.
You and thank you for having me on. It's so cool to finally meet you. I know we've been talking back and forth. So, and I mean, you have been a staple in this industry for years. People have been talking about how talented and what an amazing educator you are. So I'm so excited to finally be able to meet you and have this chat.
Well, yeah, we're here, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. And it is nice to be in virtual person finally instead of over the phone. It's great to see how gorgeous you are, like live. And Jen and I have some really exciting news for you guys, and you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of this when we announce it. So hang in there with us because we've got some exciting news. But before we get to that, let's dish, Miss Bruno. So I am also very excited, not only about everything you do for the industry, but you have an event coming up on August 14th, I believe, in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. And I'm going to kind of stick a pin in this because there's a few other things I want to talk to you about before we get to this. But another thank you. I want to thank you so much for creating an event for boudoir photographers at WPPI. We're always so underrepresented at WPPI. Every conference for that matter. We're just
absolutely.
so
it's very hard to find solid education in our niche, which is boudoir. So we're very excited to be able to bring quality education at a very low price to the industry.
Yeah, and I'm really, really excited that you'll be doing this year. The turnout at WPPI is going to be a little bit smaller. They cut a lot of speakers. So to have you doing this is awesome for our community because we need it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to go in depth about that particular event and what Jenn and her team is offering and how exciting and fun it's going to be. But before that, I would love to introduce you to everyone out there who might not know you. I know how awesome you are. But for the folks out there who are meeting you today for the first time, I'd love it if you shared a little bit about your journey. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your how you got into the industry and your why. And I know that's a big one, but have fun with it.
Yeah.
And then how you transitioned into education and really kind of what makes you tick. And if you want to throw in anything personal, feel free. We just want to get to know you.
Okay, well, thank you for that intro. So I actually was a speech pathologist. I have a master's in science and I practiced for about 10 years. And my husband has his doctorate of physical therapy. So those are great careers, but what comes along with that is massive amounts of debt because we went to school. I went to school for 7 years. He went to school for 9 years. And what we found when we got out of school is that we couldn't pay our school loans. We couldn't pay our bills. And I had just had my son. This was in 2013, maybe 2015. And we just bought and built this beautiful house, like our dream house that we had wanted to raise our kids in. And there was a night that I very specifically remember where we had put Jackson to sleep and Randy and I were outside in front of the house and we were just hugging and crying because we couldn't pay our bills. And Randy was like, we need to sell the house. We have to sell it because we can't afford it. We are going to never get ahead in this house. We will not be able to pay our bills and, we're not going to be able to create a life for our son. And at that point, I knew that something had to change. And I am not one to sit around and wait for change to happen. I create change. And so at that point, I was shooting family, maternity, newborn. And, it was like pennies, like every now and then I'd make $1,000, which sounds like a lot, but back then it was every now and then. It wasn't often. So I started shooting boudoir and I used to do headshots for the Miss America and the Miss USA contest. And I had a client, like a pageant girl that was like, hey, I really want to take some sexy pictures for my boyfriend. Do you think you can do it? And I was like, sure, why not? Sounds like fun. Let's do it. And I did it and I fell in love with it. And like to see her face when she saw them, and this is like a pageant girl who's used to having pictures taken of her all the time, but to see the reaction she had to these pictures where it was very stripped down and raw. And it really just grabbed me. And I started just pouring myself into it. And when I was younger, I remember I had a professor that used to say, do what you love and money will come. And I used to never really think much of that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you choose a job where you're not going to make any money? And but when I found Boudoir, I really understood the meaning of that when you do what you love and you're passionate about it, you pour yourself into it, you get better at it, and people start to desire your work, and then you can charge what you're worth. And so really the craft for me came first and the love came first. And then I started building my studio and it was very quick from there. It's really been an avalanche almost. I started shooting full-time 2017, Boudoir 2017, 2018, I quit my full-time job. 2019, my husband quit his full-time job. And these are six-figure jobs that we're leaving. And and in 2018, my studio grossed over $500,000. And every year since then, it has grossed over $500,000. This year, I think my studio is going to hit 7 figures. My studio, not the education platform. That has nothing to do with my studio's revenue. So I'm incredibly proud of my studio and all the women that I've reached, and also the fact that I've been able to provide this service to my clients who, value what I do and appreciate what I do. So.
My goodness, woman, you got me in the feels a couple of times there. I was like tearing up. That's such a beautiful story and such a testament to the fact that, it's not, I don't know. I think a lot of people who come into the industry think, the people that are at the top, the people who are doing well, they're, magical little unicorns or special snowflakes or something along those lines. And that's not it. You really do have to hone your craft. You have to be good at what you do. You do need to invest in yourself and your education and your knowledge. But when you do that, if you have a goal and you strive and you work for it, the only thing that ends up standing in your way is yourself. And you can go so far. Like oh, when you started and you started talking about how both you and your husband accumulated so much debt going to college, and in our society, we're taught that's what we must do.
Absolutely.
I did it too, and it's not necessarily the case. And sometimes we do go to college and we get our degrees, and it helps. Obviously, education is fantastic, and
Absolutely.
everyone should have, everyone should be furthering their education in some way at all times, always growing, right?
Right.
But oh, hearing you say all of that sinking debt and not being able to get out of it and not knowing what to do, and then as opposed to just wallowing in it, turning all of that around and creating such a successful and beautiful life for yourself and your family, like you're a badass. Go. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
so awesome. Like, so
Yeah.
proud of you. That's so good.
It is one. I'm very proud of my business, but I'm really proud that we were building a family concurrently. So like now we have 3 children under 8. So the
Beautiful children.
thank you. The business was building while I was pregnant. And I hear so often, I'll talk with women especially that are like, I have small children. I can't do it. And I'm like, no, you can. You can do it. You can do it. And the only one limiting you is yourself. And
Yeah.
what I tell my students is the amount of work you put in is directly equivalent to the results that you will get out. So if you're putting in 10% of effort, you're going to see 10% of change. It's a direct equivalency. And so, but then I have students who, they will pour themselves into it and their trajectory is fast.
Yeah.
So
Exact same thing I preach to my students, same exact thing. And I went through something similar. I was in the corporate world. I was working for SAP America for like 17 years, and they're the world's second largest software manufacturer. And I worked for them for some time. And then I had my son, and he's on the spectrum. And I couldn't go back to work in
yeah.
that corporate job full time. And I had to do something else. And if I could do all of that, and actually I started the photography business so that I would have more time to spend with my son in ABA therapy and in speech therapy,
Yeah.
and working on social behaviors and laying down new neural pathways so that we can get more of the skills that he needed. So I was able to pour myself 100% into my business, like give it everything I needed to and create the dream business that I wanted to create, but also care for my little who needed a little bit more than most children. We create our schedules and we are able to create the type of autonomy that we need to create, but also the type of success that we need to create. And you're right, it is absolutely directly correlated to the amount of effort that you put into it. I think going back to this special little snowflake theory, which I just have to debunk time and time again, I didn't start as a brilliant photographer either. And I didn't start as like an excellent business person. We all start at like a certain level and we grow our skills. And it's those of us who are willing to be uncomfortable and sit in that uncomfort and push and learn and grow, and repeat that process repeatedly. There's so much gain and benefit to doing all of that. So
I think so many people are scared to fail, and so they never start. And that is where the growth happens.
yeah,
Through failure. And I have to say, I mean, there's been times I have done stuff with my studio and it has not worked. But through that, and I was actually just talking about this to one of my friends, and I was saying how when I'm teaching, I actually teach my students through the scientific method, but they don't really know it's a scientific method. But I do because I have a master's of science. So when I'm teaching them to change things, I say, change one variable, see what the outcome is, and then assess it. And then, if you need to change another variable, but don't change a million things all at once because you're never going to know what enacted the change. And so I think, though, going back to, people are so fearful to fail that they never start, or they get so overwhelmed with all the things that they just sit in that moment of inaction and they just never take the first step. And you probably get this all the time. What do I do? Where do I start? Like, you just start. You
yeah.
just go. You have to start. That's what you do.
One of the biggest quotes in my group is, well, we got a couple of them, but one that I say very, very often is, the only thing that you can do wrong in my course is not try. That is the only thing that you can do wrong, is not try. And I mean, that's just with life. And I can empathize, honestly, and I'm sure you can too. It can be scary. I can empathize absolutely with being afraid of failing. There are things that I'm comfortable at failing at because I know when I do fail, I'm going to learn. I kind of don't like the word failure. I don't know about you. I wish we had a better word for it. It's really a growth for opportunity, right?
Right.
But when we do have those failures or those setbacks, or it doesn't happen 100% the way that we want to. My mom used to always tell me from the time I was a little girl, never waste a good mistake. You're always learning from it, right? But there are places where like you'll pump yourself up so big where you're just like, oh God, I'm terrified. Like, I don't want this to fall apart. Like, and oftentimes I personally do have to step back and tell myself, okay, Denise, what is the worst thing that's going to happen if this doesn't work? Like, is your whole world going to fall apart? No. Are you going to die? Like, is the sky going to come crashing down? No, it's not. Are you going to skin your knees? Maybe. Do you have some band-aids? You do. Are you going to be okay and you're going to learn? Absolutely. So, I empathize with the students who feel that. But for all of you listening, it's important to know that we do got to skin our knees sometimes. And sometimes it's not that bad, especially when you have an amazing community. So with that, let's talk about like a little bit of a high level of your educational platform, because I know it's a community as well, where everybody really helps each other and works together. And I'm all about those. The stripped down community is super strong. I want it to grow even stronger. I'm working on that. But let's talk a little bit high level about your educational platform. Tell people about High Rollers.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, it started in 2019. We have over 800 students in the course. And it is basically my business in a box. It's the best of both worlds. So my business partner, Humberto Garcia, teaches all the tech stuff, the Facebook ads, the website building, the SEO, all of the key stuff that we don't, as photographers, really want to touch. And then I teach basically the studio, everything that I have done in the order that I did it to make my studio successful, to make it gross over $500,000 every year since 2018. Even during pandemic, last year I grossed 524. Year to date, my studio is at 434. So I'm almost year to date at where my studio ended last year during COVID. And again, that is not the education platform. That is only my studio. They're two separate things. I like to be very specific about that because I think it is an incredible number. And a lot of people don't believe that it's real. And they think that I'm mixing the two, and I'm not. During COVID, I shot 100 from January 15th to June 15th of 2020 to June 15th of this year. I shot 150 women. Wow. So I basically shot almost every single day, sometimes more than once. So it's my business in a box. It's everything that I have done to get to where I am now. And in addition to that, there's support. There's this huge community of people and amazing things are happening with this community, right? There's breakout groups, there's pods that Zoom together and problem solve together. They've broken off into pods where they create their own Zoom meetings and their own chats. It's really amazing, to see that happening.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to find in this industry because we have so many, not to be a negative Nancy, but we do have so many groups that we go into that I think can be harmful for the emotional well-being of us as artists. We'll go into them and there's, things going on that are under business that we don't need to be involved in. We don't keep our head down and focus on our work. And we might be aligning ourselves with people who, what is that saying? You are the equivalent of the 5 closest people around you. So be mindful of who you surround yourself with. So finding a business tribe where you have like-minded people who have like-minded goals, who are working together with a system that's a proven methodology that can work for you.
That's what it is. It's a system. It's systematic. And I don't think there's any other courses, business courses out there, I would venture to say, and even the photography community, that are as systematic. And one of my students said it best, who her dad was an equestrian, and her dad used to say, surround yourself with thoroughbreds. And that's what I like to say the mastermind is, because it is, you are surrounded by people who are successful. Because, you go into a group where no one's successful and you ask a question, they're all going to be like, that's not going to work. But you go into a group where everyone is successful, they're going to be like, you know what, try it, see what happens. Or
Yeah.
I did that and it worked, do it. And so if you surround yourself by very successful people, it only just lifts you up, not just professionally, but also you personally, because your mental health is affected, like your mental health is affected by the state of your business. Because so often we all identify, right? Like it's very hard to separate yourself from your business.
And I would even argue that the state of your business is absolutely affected by your mental health. You can only show up for others as much as you show up for yourself. So finding and creating that tribe that is going to tell you, like, because they know and understand, like, well, you can't, you can't just, you don't know until you do it and you collect the data, and we're going to like root you on and be here behind you and hear our best practices. And, let's talk about it. We've all learned these things. Let's move forward. And I've always been one for, I don't want to contradict the way that I feel about this. I don't believe in a one size fits all. I don't think that 100% rollout works for everyone, but I think that frameworks are really, really important, and processes and systems are incredibly important. And there is no reason to reinvent the wheel if there is a proven methodology and system for success, and the ability to, implement and then collect data and assess and, tweak if needed. And having that group is an important part of, I would imagine, being able to do that. So again, thank you for doing that for our community and having that place for everybody. It's super important. On our side of the fence, we're really working on making sure that you are a photographer who understands that you're actually an artist. You're not just a hobbyist, and you're not just a business person, and really bringing the art back into our medium, because it has been, in my opinion, it has been lost. But also being a photographer that has the skill set to charge the type of prices that you want to charge and to make the type of money that you want to make, because without having that solid skill set, that's difficult. So when you have that skill set and that confidence, and then you add that with the business acumen and the tools that you need to be successful, like, hello, powerhouse, and like, go get it, right?
Amazing. I have so many students that, struggled. Every day I have students that write me and are like, I'd never taken a vacation ever. Like Lori, one of my coaches, she had never taken a vacation with her family. And last year she took them to Hawaii for 3 weeks. Or Belinda, who was, she was really struggling before, and now she is going to pay for her daughter's wedding in cash. Like things like that, like life-changing, that I'm looking at my wall in front of me. It's full of Polaroids of every single woman I've ever shot. And I'm looking at these, but like, it's my students who it really fills my cup, because it is multiplied. They're changing their clients' lives. And then it's changing the trajectory of my students' lives. That is what really gets me in the fields, because I feel like I'm legitimately making a difference in the community, building business people.
In the world, darling. It's a ripple effect. It's making a difference in the world. You and I can affect so many people in our studios, but once we start educating and giving this information and sharing this knowledge and creating these really tight-knit communities that we support, it's the ripple effect. There are so many more people that we can reach and we can touch. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a wholehearted person who's doing that. There need to be more people like that within the industry, supporting this industry so that we can see that kind of growth and that kind of change within our medium and our art form and for all these amazing entrepreneurs. So
I agree.
yeah.
Our bar has always been to give away more free information than what people pay for. So that really has been, that was the, really just the start of this conference too. So that's really been the bar of the high rollers. And I think that's why the big group is so successful and, moving and grooving, and also why the conference is going to be really amazing.
Okay, so that's a really good transition right there. Let's start talking about this conference that I'm so very excited about. Again, I want to thank you for doing it. I mean, just historically, we're so underrepresented, again, in every single, educational platform, every conference that happens, all of it, everyone keeps their, let's stay away from this. And there's just not enough out there where boudoir photographers can find their tribes and get to know other photographers and learn new things and, experience new and different things. And we all kind of get holed up, and then we get into those Facebook groups, and they're not the best places always. Sometimes they're really good, and it depends on the group you seem to happen upon. But this what you're doing is going to be amazing. So let's talk about it. Tell us all about the conference that you're going to be having on August 14th in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, which is so exciting.
I'm super excited. So first of all, we have an amazing sponsor, Color, who is an amazing album company. They're based out of Portugal, and I've had an incredible relationship with them since 2016. So they've been my go-to album company, and they actually launched an album line named after me called the Jenn Smith Collection. And what Tiago did, the owner of the company, was we Zoomed, and I told him my wish list, what I wanted for my clients, and then it was like magic. He made it. So the really cool thing I'm excited to announce, and I'm announcing here first, is every single attendee that comes to the conference is going to get a complimentary collection, a Jenn Smith collection that they'll be able to use as a sample in their studio.
Wait. What? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's really awesome. So it's probably like $150 value, which is basically the cost of the ticket. But yeah, Color is extremely generous, and they're giving a Jenn Smith collection to every single person that.
Wow, kudos to Color. That's awesome. And kudos to you for making that happen. Thank you. That's awesome.
I'm really
going to be getting one of those.
Yes, you are. It's amazing. It's actually, it comes with a beautiful box, the handcrafted album, and then a smaller companion album. So, the way I sell it to my clients is if you could take it and brag and show it to your friends, or you can give it to your partner. That way you can choose the cover that you want, and your partner can choose the cover that they want. That way, you have two. So I'm really excited for that. And so we're going to have a bunch of really exciting instructors. Most of them will be students from High Rollers, which I'm really excited to give my students this platform, because I've seen their growth like firsthand. And so to be able to I'm gonna be like a proud mama sitting there I know I'm going first, I'm speaking first, so I can just sit back and just soak in what's happening, because I'm super excited. And they're going to talk about all kinds of things, from getting started on how to build your brand, how to build trust. Another speaker, Sivan Ritu, is doing how to build trust in your brand. Danielle Tercerio, who is a fucking powerhouse. She's amazing. She actually also has built her business, to over $500,000 while she was pregnant. She's actually only maybe an hour away from me, which also dispels the rumor that you can't have powerhouses in close geographical areas, right? I have so many people close to me. Danielle Tercerio is close to me. Marco Ibanez is close to me. Ruthie Skillman is close to me. There's a bunch of really powerful, strong boudoir photographers who run successful businesses that are within an hour drive for me. So Danielle is going to talk about 9 to 5 to thrive, making the leap from full-time, full-time job to a full-time photographer, which a lot of people ask. And Cindy, who is one of my most favorite people in the world, is going to talk about not getting cash blocked, which is my most favorite name for a speech anywhere, for a class. And she's going to talk about money mindset, because that's something that a lot of people just really get in their way about.
Yeah.
Rick Wright is going to talk about creating a signature style, and he is incredibly talented. So yeah, we have a lot of amazing speakers. I'm going to speak about how to get yourself booked out, because I'm currently booking September of 2022. So I'm going to talk about what I did and what I've done to create that massive amount of bookings. And then Humberto is going to teach Facebook ads. That is the one thing that everybody wants to know, like, how do you run Facebook ads? So he is going to get into the nitty gritty, and I believe he's actually going to teach a Facebook ad, like how to do it. So I'm super excited. And we have a super exciting new addition to our lineup.
You do? You do?
I do. I do. I'm so excited. It's you.
Oh my God, it's me.
It's you.
I kind of knew that coming into this, guys. I am so very honored. Danielle is actually one of my former students, brilliant artist, absolutely brilliant, amazing business person. She's done it all. She's fantastic. I'm so excited.
Nice. Such a nice person.
Yeah. And to be alongside all of those other speakers, I'm incredibly honored. And I thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to bringing a tremendous amount of value to this event as well. So, and I also have like a little surprise. So we are going to be launching a fall strip down workshop, and we are going to be giving away a scholarship to one of the attendees at Jenn's event. So you stay through the event to my presentation, and you're going to have the opportunity to win a $2,700 scholarship to the strip down workshop. So not only are we bringing you that scholarship, but I promise to bring 150% of myself and let you guys leave with some really tangible extra executables that you can take into your studios right away that will change the way that you're shooting. And so I'm just so excited that we get to go do something that's going to make a difference in people's lives. And we get to have more of those proud mama events that are moments that you were talking about. Like, it's so amazing to watch our students like grow and flourish and have the opportunity to, like, you know, drop that pebble in and watch that ripple effect and really make a difference in the world. And yes, I love shooting in the studio too, but really getting out there and filling our cups with those students is just absolutely amazing. Watching them just grow and spread their wings and do all the beautiful things in the world. I don't know if you know this, but I was approached by a gallery, and right, pretty exciting. So we were approached by a gallery, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have all of my work in a gallery. Like, I'm so stoked about this. This is amazing. I get a Denise Birdsong gallery event. And then as I read through it, it was like, we're really fascinated by what it is you're teaching and how you approach education. And we really want to see the evolution of your students. And I was like, oh, you thought I was excited, like, to have my own gallery showing, but when they talked about like wanting to show all of my students' work in a legitimate gallery, like legitimizing our art form from just being like snapshots and people wanting to pay us like $50 to $100 for a session, to like, this is a legitimate art form that deserves to stand next to like painting and sculpting and poetry and literature and music and all of the other things. Oh, I'm so excited. So it's amazing to be able to watch them have these opportunities and watch them grow and their lives change and the evolutions that, you know, we give them the information, right? But it's really them that they do these beautiful things. And we're so incredibly blessed to be able to create like that place where they can be safe and give them the skills and the tools for the foundation, and then just watch them flourish and blossom and support them along the way. So I'm so incredibly grateful for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me along. I'm gonna bring
Gosh,
the value,
sure.
girl.
I'm so excited. We're gonna have such a good time.
We really are. This is gonna be amazing. And we're having a party too, right? Did I hear something about a party maybe? It's been
Yeah,
a
we're
year of
gonna
COVID. I could use a party.
yeah, so we're gonna have a happy hour. And on the 15th, I think we're gonna do it from 8 to 10. And it'll be at the Chandelier Bar at Cosmo. Cosmo.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll
I'm
do that.
so there.
We may do another event as well, but I don't have those details quite yet ironed out. This is a lot of planning. This is a lot of work.
Dude, this is a
So
lot
it is
that the kids are undertaking. And we,
so
you know what, as the boudoir community, we totally appreciate the work that you're putting into it. It does not go unrecognized. It does not go unnoticed.
gonna make me tear up, girl. Look at you. Thank you.
There's lots of gratitude. We appreciate it so very much. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you so that we can start following you? I know that we have a podcast, you know, that we have a Facebook group. I know that we have the program. So let's start telling people how they can sign up for the conference, where to find it, and all of the other good stuff too. So let's give them all the info so that they can actually take some actionable steps to change their lives and change the trajectory of their craft and their art as well as their business.
I love that. Okay. So our website is thehighRollersClub.io. And you can go to that and find the Facebook group. You can go to that and buy a ticket to the conference. If you want to buy multiple tickets to the conference, you have to buy one from each email address. So just a heads up on that. It's just the way Kajabi works. I'm not sure why that happens, but so you can go there. Our Facebook group is the High Rollers Club. You can go there and find us, our big Facebook group. It's a wealth of information and free video and free content. You can follow me on Instagram at Boudoir by Jennifer Smith. You can find me on TikTok where I have almost 500,000 followers. It's Jen. I think it's Jennifer Bruno Smith. I have to look. Hold on, let me see. Isn't that terrible? I don't remember my TikTok name.
It's okay. I don't remember a lot of mine. You're in good company.
Jennifer Bruno Smith on TikTok. I had to.
Jennifer Bruno Smith on TikTok.
Yeah, you could probably put in Boudoir by Jennifer Smith and you would find me too. So,
you know, the one thing that we haven't talked about, I think, in depthly is the cost of this conference, which I think is really, really important to talk about because it's kind of bananas. The value that you're bringing, the people that you have speaking, the event that you have going on, like your cost right now is insane. Let's talk about that really quick before we wrap, because I want people to understand, like, you don't get to see me for this kind of price ever anywhere, like, period. Not to mention, like, all of these other incredible people that you're bringing to the table for photographers. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so right now we're in early bird pricing, so it's $50 off. We're going to end that probably within the next few days. So it's $149 right now. And then once early bird pricing ends, it's $199. And we're about maybe 75% of the seats are sold. So we still have about 25%. We might open the room bigger if more people reserve seats. But yeah, so it'll be $199 full price, but right now it's $149, which I mean, is so cheap. So
yeah, that's
super excited about that.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, huh, what? Like,
yeah,
okay, like I'll be there. And then when I had the opportunity to speak, I was like, okay, I'll still pay for the ticket and be there.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
And like I said, the Flora Color sample album is like 100, 150 if you would just go buy it. So it's basically you're getting the album too for the cost of the ticket. It's a great value.
Guys, this is an absolute no-brainer. You have people within the industry who are out there killing it, who are coming to bring you their heart and soul. They're doing this so wholeheartedly and with such beautiful intentions. Obviously at this price, come on guys, like this is just amazing wholehearted intention. And we would love you to join these tribes and find the people who are like-minded and be able to grow and continue building your foundation. And you don't have to be that special little snowflake or that magical little unicorn. You're fantastic the way that you are. Might there be room for growth and improvement? Absolutely. I know, Jen, I don't know about you, but I know that I have room for growth and
Yeah,
improvement
every
every
day.
single day.
Every
Yeah.
day.
Great
Yeah,
minds, girl, great minds.
every day.
Every day. And so we would love to have you all join us. Let's sell this out and have a big party and an amazing tribe. And let's all get together and figure out. I've had a difficult year. Let's figure out how to come out of this stronger, more beautiful, more wholehearted, with the business acumen that we need and the art that we need. And let's go and do this. I'm so excited. I'm
It's a
so
beautiful
incredibly
partnership. It's the best of both worlds.
yeah, I'm really, really very excited. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be talking about this until we get there. So you're going to hear a lot more about it from me because I'm super excited to be a part of this. So you'll be getting newsletters from me and I'll be doing lives and we'll be talking more about it most definitely. And we're going to see you in August on the 14th. Like, really be there or be square. I mean, come on. You guys all need to come. Jen, I want to thank you so much for being here with
Thank you
us.
for having me.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you mention, sorry, one more thing. Did you mention your podcast? Can they, where they can find you for your podcast?
Yeah. It's the High Rollers Club. You can find it, I think, on Apple. You can find it on YouTube. You just search the High Rollers Club. I think you can actually get to everything from our website, thehighrollersclub.io. So not .com, it's .io.
Okay, fantastic. So guys, if you've enjoyed today's conversation with Jen, which I have immensely, she's amazing. Such an amazing like origin story. It's so good. Really got me in the feels and have inspired me to want to do and be more. Thank you for that. If you've enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that 5-star rating for us and take a screenshot of it and DM it to me, and I will send you an awesome, like, free educational tool. Share this with your friends, and we will look forward to seeing you on the very next podcast. Jen, all my love, sweetheart. Again, bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all that you do for the community. You're an amazing woman.
And thanks for joining me in Vegas. I'm super excited.
Me too. We're going to get into all kinds of trouble. This is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait. Okay, my love. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.